Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for a Learning and Growing webinar on an exploration of tools for business student success, comparison of the online post-COVID-19 versus on-ground pre-pandemic course delivery. Our presenter today is Dr. Mark Aguilar of American College University. My name is Sidra, and I'll be your moderator for Hawks Learning. We will have a live Q&A session after the presentation, so please enter any questions you have into the Q&A module as we go, and we'll be sure to answer them at the end. I'll now hand it over to our presenter.
Hello, everybody. Yep.
Yeah, if you click the little arrows next to the transition, it'll show you the other tabs on the top.
Yeah, let me see, because I do not see it here. Hold on a second. Yeah, let me see. Oh, you cannot see me on the video yet, but
No,
yes,
not yet.
yeah, I'm looking for the share screen from the beginning, and I'm not seeing that it was there earlier.
So you see home, insert, draw, design,
Yep.
transitions, and then there's some arrows. Click the arrows.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I see them. Yeah, animations.
And then go to
Here we
slideshow.
go. Now I'm seeing it. Yeah. Thank you
There
so
you
much.
go.
Appreciate
And then
it.
if you wanted to share your camera as well.
Yep. Yep. Let me click that. Can you see me now?
No, you'll have to do that from the Zoom
All right. Let me see.
window.
This is a Zoom window. Yeah, here we go. Okay. All right. So everybody should see me now. Can you see me? All right. Very good. Well, thank you very much. Everybody can hear me there. As Sidra kindly introduced me, I am Dr. Mark Aguilera. Thank you, Sidra, and welcome everyone to this webinar. And I am pleased, let me put some volume a little up here. Yeah, I am pleased to present this article information and publication I researched on business tools for business student success. And let me put that on the first draw. Here we go. It's a comparison of online post-COVID-19 versus on-ground pre-pandemic course delivery. All right, so second slide here, an exploration of tools for business student success. Let me remove this here. Basically, it's clear online course delivery increased in popularity, just as we offer at American College of Education, or ACE. Online is more and more desirable due to being more accessible, affordable, and flexible. On this second bullet here, as research shows on this second slide, online course delivery has a huge impact geographically. Indeed, reaching out to students in rural, remote areas and throughout the world, there's clearly an advantage of online that has no border. Last point here on this slide, we're still somewhat living within the threat of COVID-19 or other flu-like menace. And online options for students are more and more needed, including high-speed internet access for live audio or conferences, pre-recorded lectures or reviews, with often asynchronous flexibility using handheld devices, with instant feedback from faculty to students and vice versa. Still on the exploration of tools for business students on this third slide, and differences between online and on-ground deliveries. First bullet, COVID-19 forced a dramatic improvement and overnight need for changes from brick and mortar to e-classroom setting. On this second bullet, traditional faculty had to face the coronavirus wind of panic. with a record time response to seize the moment with a new pedagogical business approach. This next slide here, continuing on the differences between online and on-ground deliveries. This first bullet on this new slide here, I'm sure that the on-ground course delivery concept registers with lots of you present on this webinar today. It features living in dorms with lecture halls. The next bullet on this new slide here, face-to-face course delivery is not everybody's favorite, but popular for students liking the flexibility. According to research, prior to COVID, on-ground delivery had already seen some added flexibility from older, I guess, the Monday through Friday, schedule with night classes. We've all been through those for either weekend to a change to either weekends or 1 day per week schedule. So it has evolved quite a bit. On this next slide here, continuing on the differentiation, considering more traditional on-ground course delivery, which offers most student satisfaction, with on this first bullet, face-to-face communication on ground, obviously. Next bullet here, students are satisfied having visibility of a faculty member regularly. Another point here, big plus with on-ground open door policy needed for students' formative development. And as supported by research, a blended educational model benefiting both traditional and online learning or blended learning position itself between classroom training and face-to-face and e-learning and online interaction. Next slide here. At ACE, we have started to emphasize our instruction using differentiated tools and activity types across our verticals. Particularly in our business department, well into the second or third year of the COVID-19, we continued to stay away from essays to favor more engaging tools like infographics. On this sixth slide here, it's a set of imagery or charts with limited text. The second bullet here, business proposals taking the form of presentations such as reports, reflective facts, executive summaries, which are mostly found in business plans. Facts, executive summaries, which are mostly found in, newsletters are dynamic tools with current happenings, written or informative visuals, such as storyboards that are set of dynamic of pics, pictures or text content, and to inform and entertain. On the last point here, the interviews, transcript, case studies, it's very interactive and again, one of those tools that we use all the time. On this, the next slide here, as described on the later slide, ACE has been very proactive in staying at the forefront of increasingly available availability of educational technology. And it couldn't have happened without the great course authors, SME faculties, and it's all in sync with authentic learning outcomes. On this second bullet here, the point here, explore tools online include DLC or digital learning components. Online analytical creation tools, online holistic types of rubrics, or thinking and strategic planning tools or others. On this new slide here, other differentiated strategies. It's essential really to understand each student's uniqueness, as students do have different interpretations. On the second bullet here, there's a need for a variety of instructional strategies to be innovative and dynamic with digital storyline and visual literacy. As research shows, we cannot repeat the same old cookie cutter method, but must adapt to constantly, make sure we motivate adult learners. For example, using well thought out LMS, learning management system based simulations. On this slide here, continue on exploration of tools for business and student success. A recap on the differentiated strategies. It's very important to consider that every student is different. There's a need to address all learning styles to best grasp of the course concepts. Second point, the curriculum delivery cannot assume that students are all have the reading and writing learning style. It's not fair to not consider the differences. Auditory learners on this next point, likely preference is obviously lectures, listening to podcasts, watching videos. So clearly auditory learners. They're also kinesthetic learners. Likely preferences will be hands-on, point and click, and really getting your hands, rolling your sleeve into something that really helps them understand and facilitate their learning. So clearly point and click or simulations again. So those are the references I used to for this article that I wrote and the publication that I researched and I referred to in my PowerPoint presentation. I'll be happy to take Q&As, and I think Sidra will facilitate that, and and before I say thank you, we'll just listen to the questions. So I guess that will be shared, and Sidra will facilitate to answer here. Thank you.
So if at this time you'd like to ask any questions, please go ahead and drop them in the Q&A module, and we'll be sure to answer them. While we wait for questions, Doctor, is there any closing remarks that you would like to make?
Well, I want to thank you. Thank you very much, Sidra. Thank you so much for doing a great job and keeping me straight and narrow. Thank you very much again for joining this webinar. Kindly hosted by Hawks, learning facilitated by Sidra, and I'm looking forward to some more presentations. And if there's there are no more questions, have a great day, rest of your day, and have an excellent weekend.
We do have one question so far.
Yes, please.
How do you ensure academic integrity with online classes?
Yeah. Well, and I'm taking note of that. That's a great question. Well, integrity really is, everything is really closed caption, and everything is there's a system that makes sure that there's no it's very rigorous, and there's not people cannot get into somebody's course. And so everybody, is really there's attendance, there's the grading, and make sure that the participation is there. So actually, I would say that the integrity is ensured by holding the students to discussion boards, make sure that they do make that they do participate, and really more and more we tighten it up by making sure that they cannot see the discussion threads until they make their first post. So in other words, the maybe what used to happen way back, where you do the minimum. Now students are really, I wouldn't say forced, but really encouraged to get engaged and put on their really make this, make a diligent effort to to have a significant and meaningful and authentic post, and that that they do it on their own, and it's really backed up with research and and proper APA 7th edition. So all this is really clearly, and ACE does a great job at that, and clearly online is there's great rigor, and integrity is 100% there. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
You're
Do
welcome.
you find online classes to be easier for students?
Online classes. Well, I'm a brick and mortar person. I did my undergraduate over in Europe. Got my MBA here, brick and mortar. Online, I mean, I showed my online courses when I did my doctorate to someone from Purdue University, a traditional university, and they couldn't believe that person who had a PhD from Purdue in the statistics couldn't believe how how involved it was online. So I would say that it's not easier for someone. You require high, really you need to be very well organized and really and have good time management. If you have good time management, it's not easier, but it's not any harder. So, but it's not for everyone. Somebody who doesn't have good time management, good rigor, or has life getting in the way, education is hard either way. So I believe that it's it's not for everyone. Some people prefer engagement, knocking on somebody's door and then have the answer from the faculty. Online, we have times, office hours, quote unquote, or chat time or Zoom time, that real time. So more and more we make it a hybrid environment where someone who needs to get the input from the faculty member is not lost. There's somebody behind the computer, behind the wheel. So again, it really depends on the student and how how they do online versus on ground. So it's some people prefer one versus the other. Hopefully that answers your question.
It does. Thank you. So there are so many apps that give students the answers nowadays. How do you know that they're not copying from the internet? For example, GPT is one
ChatGPT.
example of
Yeah.
one of the apps.
Well, we do have Turnitin and similarity index. So if somebody copies and pastes, it's going to be picked up immediately. They're going to have a high similarity index, a high Turnitin score, and will and we plagiarism is not tolerated. By the same token, someone comes back from school, let's say, and they're not used to it, and they think it's okay to, they will be warned. But we take it as we take it as a learning opportunity, a teaching moment. So, but plagiarism is not self-plagiarism or taking somebody's work and claim it as their own. It's not tolerated. So we do have that Turnitin that kind of captures anything that's copied of the internet. So it's really it's very well done, and it's automatic in every class. Any course, Turnitin is embedded in the course. So we do that at ACE for sure. So.
Okay. So you mentioned night classes and one night a week classes. Do you find it difficult for students to focus on class if it's only meeting once a week in the evenings?
Yeah, well, And again, what I was mentioning about this is the evolution, how it evolved from, and I did that. I did an MBA at the University of Indianapolis, and it was throughout the week, but at night, that was a night program. So it evolved. What I meant by, and I was referring to on ground, it evolved from night classes. I get day classes first, but a part-time MBA, for instance, a part-time degree, you take classes, in different times of the week. The 1 week, the one class per week, works well for someone who's on ground, but not online. Online, it's asynchronous. What I was referring to is, in an example of an online program with 1 night per week. That's, it used to be more than that. That's for synchronous, meaning an on-ground brick and mortar core program. Online, you're not going to have that once a week. It's going to be you do your degree, whatever that might be, and you can log in and log out and post any time of the week. There's some times to post, and then a certain deadline where they can't post beyond a certain deadline. But online, you do not have that once a week. It's asynchronous. So again, I was referring to synchronous, which is, for instance, once per week, one night per week, or one weekend, or one Saturday, but more and more online on ground program have to do hybrid with that as well too. So again, 1 night per week will be for for on ground, and it works for the busy professional who doesn't have a life getting in the way, I guess. So I hope that helps.
Thank you. There was follow-up on that. Yeah, they were wondering about on-ground classes 1 night per week
Right.
for
Okay.
that question.
Yeah, but that's the one. Yeah, that's the 1 night per week. It's on ground. Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay. And then there was follow-up on the cheating apps.
Oh,
So
cheating
they
app.
turn it
Yeah.
in, they work for English, but not helpful for math. Do you have any suggestions for math?
Oh, yeah. And I know, and I do know because my son is at IU and he's studying, bio and biochemistry and all that pre-med and high, very really highly mathematics and so on and so forth. Well, the online we do have it captures like people are cheating, but as far as the math, there's only so much you can do. I mean, maybe certain things might work, but not everything works. So we and we create our own courses online at ACE, for instance. So, likely it's totally new material. So it'd be very hard to do. And quizzes are time too. So, again, we're not there with a camera checking what they do and turning in will capture some of the similarity index. But, you can't get through a program just by cheating like that. That won't work at ACE. That might help, and it's part of the learning. Sometimes you check your answer, and but it will show through the discussion board and the tests and the assignments and everything. So so it's just sooner or later it'll catch up with students. So hopefully that answers your question.
Okay, so someone mentioned that they're still a little bit confused
Yeah.
about if you find it difficult for students to focus on a once a week in-person class. Is that where you were mentioning that it needs to be a hybrid where they meet online as well?
No.
Or they have
The
online work
1
as
night per
well?
week would be an on-ground program, and within the program they might do some other through the LMS. They might allow the students to post or whatever. But yeah, the for the 1 night a week, it has nothing to do with online. It has to do with on-ground. So hopefully, more traditional environment. So hopefully that I'm trying to kind of give it a little balanced, just like we compared pre-COVID, post-COVID, and online versus on ground, and more and more it's gonna kind of like interfaced, and I know it's so hopefully that answers. It's on ground, yes.
So do you find it difficult for students to focus on it though?
Well, I mean, it's professionals, adult professionals, who dedicate their time to it, typically, to varying level, I've, if it, I have no problem with it. I mean, I don't see any issues there. And it's and it's actually to the contrary, it adds flexibility and allows them to, if they have a busy life, to complete a degree they might not complete if it were more times per week, and instead of just one time per week, maybe twice or three times in the weekend, and then that becomes a roadblock, and that would be much harder, so yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I think that's all the time we have for questions now. Thank you, Dr. Aguilar, and thank you all for attending today.
Thank you,
If you
Sarah.
or any of your fellow instructors are interested in presenting for our Learning and Growing webinar series, please submit your proposals to the Learning and Growing website, which I'm going to go ahead and link in the chat right now. Give me one quick second for easy access. And you should see it now in the chat. We will be emailing you a link of the recording once it becomes available, and I hope everyone has a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone. Looking forward to the next one. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good weekend.